John Harris, a renowned archaeologist known for his excavations of ancient ruins, was currently engrossed in his latest project, the cursed Crypt. This cave was rumored to be an ancient burial ground, potentially harboring unknown treasures. Despite warnings from the locals about a curse attached to the crypt, John remained skeptical and stood at the entrance with his team. The interior was damp and dark, illuminated only by the beams of their flashlights. Intricate ancient murals adorned the walls, displaying eerie shapes and peculiar symbols. As they progressed, one of the team members slipped on a rock, kicking up an odd echo that was followed by faint whispers, sending shivers down their spines. Inside the crypt, the air grew heavier, and the faint whispers persisted. The team's unease deepened as they tried to locate the source of the eerie sounds, finding nothing tangible. Yet, as they navigated the cave's depths, the whispers grew more pronounced. They were not voices in the traditional sense, but rather an unsettling amalgamation of sounds that played tricks on their minds. Days passed, and the haunting echoes continued to intensify. Suddenly, one team member vanished, his cry reverberating through the cave, though no one saw him. Tensions escalated, and while John fought to maintain his rationality, others in the team succumbed to paranoia, sensing an unseen presence that watched their every move. Amid the increasing tension, the crypt's murals appeared more ominous than ever. As the days dragged on, the crypt's atmosphere grew suffocating. The team's nerves were stretched thin by the relentless whispers. Some began to doubt their sanity, haunted by the sensation of being observed even in the empty passages. John, though determined to remain composed, found his resolve tested. Late one night, as they huddled together, the whispers became a cacophony. The cave's walls seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy. Shadows danced, forming grotesque shapes that played tricks on their vision. Panic crept in, and the team questioned if their presence had awakened something sinister within the crypt. In this maddening symphony of sound, a nameless fear gripped them. They had ventured too far into the crypt, disturbing an equilibrium that had lain undisturbed for centuries. Each whisper seemed to carry an ancient sorrow, and the sensation of being watched became inescapable. John realized that the crypt's legends were not merely superstitions, they were the ominous warnings of a past that demanded respect. Time wore on, and the crypt's malevolent aura tightened its grip. The team's cohesion crumbled as paranoia spread like wildfire. John, desperate to salvage their deteriorating situation, decided it was time to retreat. But as they retraced their steps, dread gripped them. The labyrinthine passages had shifted, trapping them within. Days turned into a blur, marked by whispered taunts that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere simultaneously. The team's bonds frayed further, and a sense of doom hung palpably in the air. They became shadows of their former selves, haunted by the realization that their fates were inextricably tied to the crypt's curse. As hunger and exhaustion gnawed at them, the team's sanity unraveled. They debated whether the whispers were external or born from their tormented minds. John clung to logic, but even he couldn't ignore the twisted shapes that danced at the edge of his vision. The crypt was rewriting reality itself, reshaping their perceptions into a living nightmare. In a final desperate attempt to escape, they followed a dimly lit path that seemed to lead to salvation. But their hopes were dashed as the passage led them deeper into the crypt's heart. Their collective screams melded with the unending whispers, marking their plunge into the abyss of madness. In the depths of despair, John delved into the crypt's history, uncovering tales of an ancient curse that had bound it for centuries. Legend spoke of a long-forgotten ritual site where the deceased spirits roamed, and those who ventured in became vessels for their torment. The crypt's unsettling symbols and faces were doorways into a realm of agony, and John realized they had unwittingly walked into the crosshairs of these vengeful spirits. Haunted by the knowledge that their plight was an echo of a past tragedy, John struggled to maintain his resolve. The whispers taunted him, distorted his thoughts, and summoned visions of the tormenting spirits. His grip on reality weakened, and he fought to distinguish between the crypt's malevolent influence and his own mind's unraveling. As he stared at the crypt's symbols, their meanings began to unravel. It became clear that their very presence invoked the curse's wrath. The spirits were bound by their rage and sorrow, and they sought to ensnare the living within their suffering. John realized that to break free, he must decipher the symbols and uncover the truth behind the curse, before it consumed them all. Driven by desperation, John ventured deeper into the crypt, determined to confront the malevolent forces that held them captive. In the heart of darkness, he discovered a wall adorned with the crypt's symbols, surrounded by ghostly faces. A surge of dread washed over him as the ground quivered beneath his feet. Suddenly, a cacophony of anger echoed through the cavern, and the symbols seemed to writhe with life. In that chilling moment, John understood. The symbols were a gateway, a key to unraveling the curse. As he hesitated, shadows took form, contorted faces of the cursed souls. His heart raced as he realized he held the power to break their chains or unleash unimaginable horror. The crypt's heart pulsed with malevolence, and John's breath hitched. The cursed souls' faces contorted in silent agony as they reached for him. With a trembling hand, he traced the symbols, feeling their ancient power surge through him. The ground shook violently as the spirit's rage intensified. A deafening roar engulfed him as the crypt's walls seemed to collapse inward. The spirit's wails crescendoed, merging with the cacophony of the crumbling chamber. In that horrifying instant, John made his choice. He channeled the crypt's energy, willing it to break the curse. The air crackled with intensity as the symbols illuminated, and the spirit's anguished cries transformed into pained whispers. Then, silence. The crypt's malevolence faded, and the faces on the wall eased into tranquility. John had succeeded, but the toll was evident in his hollow eyes. The crypt's curse was broken, and the souls found solace at last. As the dust settled, John knew he had forever changed the course of their destinies. The crypt's dark echoes would fade, but its memory would linger as a cautionary tale of the price of curiosity and the power of redemption. The excavation of the cursed crypt ended in obscurity, leaving John and his team's fate shrouded in mystery. Yet, the locals continued to speak of eerie sounds emanating from the cave. They warned others to stay clear, and the crypt became a symbol of dread. John and his team's story faded, lost in the depths of the crypt they had sought to conquer. The haunting echoes of the past persisted, a reminder that some secrets were best left buried. The crypt's legend endured, a tale of ambition that led to madness and redemption that broke a centuries-old curse. The air around the crypt grew heavy with an unsolved mystery as people ventured near, feeling the weight of the past and the darkness that clung to the crypt's walls. And as time went on, the cursed crypt would forever stand as a chilling testament to the thin line between curiosity and the unknown horrors that awaited those who dared to cross it.